Hi, welcome back. I'm Sheldon McLeod, and this is Thinking Out Loud, presented to you by SaltWire. My platform, my opportunity to speak to people who have made impacts on me and on life and on our community. In fact, there was a very big announcement a few weeks ago that Natalie MacMaster was going to be named, or is named, the Director's Special Achievement Award winner for 2023 at the East Coast Music Awards. She has, I would assume, a whole shelf full of awards, Emmys and Junos, or ECMAs, ECMAs and Junos, and even a Grammy. And Natalie MacMaster is here to speak with us today. And Natalie MacMaster, it seems like you've been involved in media and entertainment forever. Congratulations on this latest achievement.
Thank you very much. It's such a thrill. I was saying to someone the other day how, signing autographs over the years, you encounter people who are from Cape Breton or from Nova Scotia and the mainland, and they'll say, oh, I'm from Nova Scotia too. And I'll say, oh, really? How long since you were there? Oh, it's been 40 years or 50 years. So the other day, before this award came along, I was thinking to myself, how long does it take before you're forgotten about, that you're not forgotten about, but like not known to your people as one of their own? Because I've been up here for 20 years, and it made me really sad, because I don't know that there is an answer to that, or I'm sure there are different answers depending on who you ask, but I'm a Cape Bretoner. Always will be. I don't care where you put me in the world. I don't care if you stuff me in a box and sit me in the corner. Like, I'm a Cape Bretoner. And so it was just really, I guess it was like a big embrace or something when I found out about this award. Just to know that people, 20 years doesn't mean that you're forgotten about.
And will there be an opportunity for you to come collect the award in person, or are they going to ship it to you? Do you know the logistics yet?
I'm coming down to get her.
Nice.
Yeah.
How long's it been since you were here?
I was just there recently, maybe last month. My daughter played a show in Prince Edward Island. My mom came out to it, and we went home to Cape Breton with mom and dad. And stayed there for a couple of days.
Now, growing up in rural Nova Scotia or Cape Breton, I'm sure you were like a lot of us in that your musical tastes, you had everything in your musical collection, whether it's traditional music or pop music, or I'm curious what that was like for you growing up and knowing that you came from a musical family.
Yeah, totally. And that's exactly what it was. It wasn't just fiddle music. It was everything that was on the radio, all the pop stars. I was a huge fan of Michael Jackson, a huge fan of Whitney Houston, Duran, like all the chart toppers. And my older brothers listened to heavier stuff like Ozzy Osbourne and AC/DC and Def Leppard, and I got into that too. And of course the fiddle music was front and center. Mom always had music playing just on a cassette, usually a cassette. And with all the community functions and events, I heard with all of that mixed together, I had a pretty broad spectrum. The only thing I didn't get much classical and jazz, that sort of stuff, but country music as well too. Anyway, yeah, it's great. I mean, it really expands your ears.
There's a lot of sadness and many tributes today to Gordon Lightfoot, who passed away last night, a Canadian folk legend, someone who had been part of our lives growing up, for generations. So any thoughts? Had you had any opportunity to have a meeting with Gordon Lightfoot? Did you ever cross paths?
We did a couple of times. We received the Queen's Jubilee Medal together a few years back, and we did a performance. I think it was Waterdown Festival, a festival in Ontario, and so I had my picture taken with him, and and it was an honor to just to cross paths with him. I mean, yeah, he is a legend, and the mark that he has left will never fade. He's part of our Canadian musical fabric, and so unique, such a great writer, such a unique delivery of his music. And yeah, it's when my husband and I got married, the priest said at the end of the homily, he said, there are two things in this world that are eternal: music and love. And I often think of that. That comes to my mind almost every day. There's certain elements about music or about love that strike me as this is eternal. And certainly for Gordon, like his music transcends ages and boundaries and languages and everything. And that's what it should be.
It's almost spiritual in a way. The way you just described it, how, when people look to their spirituality and say that, love is God, or God is love, or love is music, or God is music. Is that something that you think about? Is that something that you have perhaps considered?
I have. I mean, I'm like everyone else in the world. You're just searching for meaning in life and what our purpose is here. And I mean, I was born and raised a Catholic, but at some point in anyone's life, no matter how they're raised, they go from childhood to adulthood, and they have to own the thoughts or the influences or decisions that they make for themselves. They have to own those practices. At some point, you go from being taken places to going places. And for me, when I was in my late teens, early 20s, and living on my own during college and that sort of thing, I had my chance to decide: is this what I want to embrace? Is this going to be how I live my life? And I mean, I've gone through an amazing spiritual journey over the years, only to keep rediscovering the same things over and over, which is always affirmation. But I certainly believe that our secular society doesn't often attend to spirituality, and it's more about body mostly, then after that mind, and lastly it's your soul or your spirit or your spirituality. And whatever degree people are into that, it's too bad that it always gets the last bit of attention, but it's quite possibly the most important thing. But whatever you believe in, I definitely believe there is good and there is evil, and there's a source of each. And I've found my source. I know where my source is, but people spend sometimes a whole lifetime looking for those answers. And even for people who have found their answers, I think that you're always seeking to affirm your beliefs. As long as a person keeps an open mind and is always open to growth, I think there's a wonderful journey there for everyone.
It was interesting that in the ECMA announcement, they said Cape Breton native Natalie MacMaster has had a 40-year career in the music industry, which, of course, I'm looking at you going, all right, it's rude for me to ask your age. So how much do you weigh? No, I'm kidding.
That's a good one. I don't mind telling my age. I love it. I love the wrinkles. I'm embracing this. I am embracing age. And let me tell you, things are falling and sagging everywhere. And I care, I guess, but I think about it. I think about, there are ways to correct this. There are little things you can do to, especially as a woman, with injections and Botox and all this. And I've thought about those things because I want to be purposeful in my choices. And I've decided to generally, first of all, I'm 50 years old, and generally to recognize the value in that as opposed to focus on the yucky things that come with age, because there's value that comes with age too. I would not live my life again. I would not want to go through all that again. Not that it wasn't an awesome life. It was awesome, but I've done it. I don't want to do it again. And so that's one of the positive things that comes with age is you've lived. I feel like I've lived 9 lives. So these wrinkles, I I read a quote in a book one time that said, the sentiment was, may I die old with calluses on my feet and wrinkles on my face, as proof of signs of loving others instead of myself. Yeah, you have to love yourself, but service to others. Like I know it sounds nice and great, but it's hard to do. And I aspire to spend this body on servicing the needs of people. And I don't mean to come across as some sort of a saintly type person, because I sure as heck am not. Ask my family. I've got all my warts and they see it all. But, it's a person has to have aspirations, and I believe that kind of living.
And for the record, I'm a few years older than you, but I remember thinking somebody in their 50s was old. I don't know if you remember, people used to have, you turn 40 and it was like, oh my God, your life is, you're over the hill at the age of 40, but you're touring, you're growing up with your family, and you're making a difference in the world, and age is just a number.
Yeah, that's right. I'm with you. I thought the same things when I was a kid. Perspective is so different when you're there. But I'm going to be playing at the ECMAs, and the number I'm playing is a fiery number, and I'll be dancing in it. And I'm like, yeah, I'm 50, and I'm going to get on that stage, and I'm going to kick a little butt.
And your family, seven children?
That's correct.
And
I hear now she just woke up. She's been sick. She's spent the night throwing up. So
yes.
She may come in here and join us. We'll see. But she just closed the door. Maybe she knows I'm doing an interview. She's only 5.
And I got to say that to watch your family and to see them grow, as you say, performing, it's just it's such a joy to see people who find their place in the world and find the joy and share their joy. And thank you for sharing with all of us for all of these years.
Oh, that's what fuels me. It's not meant for just myself, and it would wither and die if it was for me. It is giving it to all of you that instills it and inspires it and makes it grow in me. So thank you.
Natalie MacMaster. Oh, there she is. And just before we conclude, I want to say congratulations on all of the achievements on this incredibly diverse and long career. And again, you'll always be a Cape Bretoner. You'll always be a Maritimer, as they say. You can take the girl out of Cape Breton, but you can't take the Cape Bretoner out of the girl. And that's for sure.
Thanks. Appreciate the interview. It was great.